For decades, the Swedish legal system operated on a simple, strict premise. The government could not intrude on your private life without concrete evidence that you had committed a crime. We can see exactly how strict this requirement was by looking at the 2018 Carl Hayden case. Police initiated extensive secret wiretapping against the industrialist, suspecting him of illegal wolf hunting. Based entirely on a law enforcement misinterpretation of an intercepted phone call, where Hayden was actually discussing a Norwegian elkhound dog, his home was raided and he was held in solitary confinement for 31 days. When the case finally reached the courts, the prosecution's narrative collapsed. Both the district court and the Court of Appeal fully acquitted Hayden, noting a complete lack of evidence that any offense had taken place. The state's flawed assumptions were exposed in an open court. The government was legally forced to present individualized suspicion of a real crime, and when that suspicion failed the test, the citizen walked free. That was the ultimate safeguard of the reactive state. Between 2023 and 2026, Swedish legislation dismantled this requirement. Ordinary police forces were granted domestic surveillance powers previously reserved strictly for the security service in counterterrorism operations. Through a new set of laws known as preventive coercive measures, police gained the statutory right to wiretap phones, bug private rooms, and deploy Trojan spyware into digital devices. They no longer need to open a preliminary criminal investigation to start monitoring a citizen. By 2026, the legal boundaries expanded even further, explicitly clearing these invasive data interception methods to target children under the age of 15. This creates a vast structural vacuum in law enforcement. If investigators do not need concrete evidence of a crime to initiate a wiretap, they need a completely new method to decide exactly who to target. To fill that targeting vacuum, the Swedish Police Authority adopted an intelligence platform known internally as ACIS. This is a customized version of Palantir's AI software, designed to ingest and link previously isolated silos of information: bank transactions, travel histories, vehicle logs, CCTV feeds, and seized text messages. The algorithm replaces concrete individual guilt with associative suspicion. It scans the aggregated data and flags citizens based on what it calculates as deviant behavioral patterns and relational links. Targeting associations creates a massive digital dragnet. When a flagged individual is wiretapped, completely innocent bystanders are pulled into the surveillance net alongside them. This dragnet expands to bulk cell tower dumps, capturing precise movements of thousands, simply because they pinged in the wrong geographic area. The integration of associative suspicion signals a change in operational priority. Resources migrate away from the investigation of specific past criminal acts towards the ongoing monitoring of social networks. The mechanical flaw in this AI system is a process called circular feedback loops. Trained on historical arrest data, the algorithm flags historically monitored, disadvantaged neighborhoods. Police surveil these areas, intercept data, and feed it right back into the system, reinforcing built-in biases. Since Palantir's proprietary code is a protected trade secret, no one can look under the hood to see why a citizen was flagged, and the results of these predictions cannot be tested. If the state wiretaps an individual preventatively for 6 months and no crime occurs, law enforcement classifies the intervention as a preventative success. The prediction engine is structurally immune to falsification. It generates self-justifying data that continually validates its own expansion, all without requiring a single actual criminal conviction. In theory, institutional checks and balances exist to guard against this kind of expanding technological power. But this chart, comparing the outcomes of police applications for secret coercive measures, reveals the reality of judicial review. Secret courts, operating under extreme time constraints, approve over 99% of all police requests. Independent lawyers, called public representatives, are assigned to defend the citizen's privacy in these closed hearings, yet they are legally gagged from contacting the person under surveillance, and they have no independent investigative resources to counter classified police data. These systemic limitations strip away meaningful oversight. The legal process is reduced to a bureaucratic rubber stamp, providing an illusion of due process while actively enabling state expansion. Centralizing this much personal data also exposes a severe human vulnerability. According to official reports, the most common internal crime within law enforcement is data breach via unauthorized registry lookups, usually driven by personnel bypassing protocols to check on neighbors or ex-partners out of personal curiosity. Digital audit logs offer little protection against deeper corruption. An officer can intercept sensitive corporate data during a preventive wiretap and verbally share that insider information for financial gain, leaving absolutely no trace in the police infrastructure. The ultimate contradiction lies in the results. Despite this massive ingestion of personal information, official evaluations show that clearance rates for everyday crimes committed against citizens remain stagnant. This creates a deep transparency paradox. The state has built a machine that makes the private life of the innocent citizen completely transparent, while ensuring its own algorithmic logic and internal operations remain completely opaque. In the effort to preempt crime, the state has adopted mechanisms that upend the historical balance between security and liberty. By treating citizens as predictive risk factors while shielding its own processes from view, the system adopts the very characteristics of unchecked power that constitutional laws were originally designed to prevent.